The focus has to be on internal change. This is not visiting the psychologist. You don't go to expression so the teachers can tell you what's wrong with you. Because there's nothing wrong with you. You're just liberating that which doesn't serve, that lower vibration. Okay? And you have to focus on that. When you leave here, you need to have an experience of stabilized consciousness. Yeah? And the only way to do that is to let go of this and just be here all the time. You know, this is spirituality for stupids. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to understand. You have to be in innocence, joy, and internal abundance. And that's freedom. All the rest is ideas. I'm afraid of my greatness. I'm afraid of my abundance. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid. You're just afraid. Consciousness. 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 Expanding, expanding, expanding. It's the only thing important. Because the silence doesn't analyze. It gives you freedom. The silence is full of joy. It starts to perceive the perfection in you and in everything. The abundance will come from within. Stop fixing everything in your heads. No more. No more head. Huh? In. Everything has to be released from the root. And understanding doesn't heal. How many times have you done something and you've had a realization? Or you see something and then you just keep repeating it. Because you have to release it. It has to come from the root. That's why this system's different. We're not going for each leaf on the tree. You know, this is when I was compared to my brothers and sisters. This is when I wasn't intelligent enough. This is where I wasn't good at sport. This is where my mother abandoned me. This was it. That's the base. And then, and this is my husband, and this is my children, and this is my school teacher. Oh, and this is my retirement, and this is when my husband left me for the secretary, and this is, and this is, and this is. And this is, I'm starting to feel old, and I'm complicated, and this, and this, and this, and it never ends. It never ends. If you're going to analyze it, it never ends. There's one problem. One. Thank God. And it's the crack in the foundation. You left paradise and you jumped into your head and created fear. We only have to heal that. And you can live in plenitude and abundance. And everything that doesn't serve will fall away because it doesn't serve. Once you realize your own perfection and love yourself unconditionally, you are free. And that compassion moves out. Oh, I'm like that, I'm like that, I'm like that. Oh, there I am, that's me. I am that. And the judgment's gone. Because the judgment's gone here. And you perceive ignorance as funny, not a judgment. Oh, she's like this, and oh, that one's like that, and oh. It's just ignorance. And it comes from a program. And people don't even know why they're like that. It's a program. And we all have different programs. There's nothing wrong with the programs. But when we evolve, we can see how that external structure creates more separation. And the only way to heal that is to elevate consciousness so all of humanity vibrates in love. But more importantly, that you do. You know, we're not waiting for all humanity to heal. But once you heal, this won't be affecting you. So, I need to be vulnerable, I need to be innocent, I need to be willing to look stupid, I need to stop running everything through the computer and fixing it. I just need to go in. And I need to listen and open to receive and not protect. Even if you can't see it. Because it's those blind spots where your greatest growth is. Because that's where the greatest protection is. I'm not like that. I'm open, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever. If you are, no one will be saying anything different to you. You don't have to see it. Assume it's true. Assume it's true. If someone says your hair's purple, say, my hair's purple. I need to look at that. It doesn't have to resonate. Because blind spots don't resonate. They do this. I'm not like that. And they defend. So open. 6 months. You've only got 4 left. Imagine.
And there I saw that I had the idea that detachment always goes with the abandonment or lack of love. So I wanted to see if you can talk more about detachment with love.
You know, it's so simple. If you're free, if you're empowered, if you love yourself, you want that for the people you love. But you don't. Because you have fear. So we control. Because we're afraid of losing the love. But when we have the love, we're not afraid of losing the love. Because we're not taking love. We're giving love unconditionally. And we've been taught to believe that if someone's jealous or controlling, it's because they're worried about us and because they love us. But it's not that. They're worried about themselves. What will happen to me if something happens to you? What will happen to me if you abandon me? What will happen to me if something happens? I am protecting you But you're not protecting you. I'm protecting me. And you need to see that. This is the greatest illusion, that love does this. It protects. It goes to war. It saves. I am the savior. No one can save anyone. Empowered people know that. They see other people's greatness and they remind them of that. They don't see victims. And you have to get to that point where you're so empowered, where you can experience your own love or greatness and then see that in other people. Yeah, stop projecting your fragility. And that's detachment. And it doesn't affect the amount you love. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You love with intensity, in the moment, unconditionally. And it's real love. Real love. It doesn't have secrets, ulterior motives. It's real. It doesn't experience lack. It's abundant. It gives. It doesn't need a result. It gives without condition. And this is the point you will get to when you find that love within yourself. Hmm?
I'm going out with someone. Everything's super well, but when I started here, I started feeling the fear of him dropping me. I have a fear. If one day we don't talk, I'm afraid that he will disappear or will finish he abandoning me. Something like that. And I'm constantly dissolving, but continues being there. That.
Well, it's a great opportunity to let it go, no? You know, that fear of abandonment says, I'm disposable. But you're not disposable if you're loving yourself. And that's what you have to do. Every time you have that pull, give it to you. And trust in that. Or else you become needy. And that need starts to be reflected. So just keep giving that love to you. And valuing yourself. You know, and stop perceiving the future. Be happy in this moment. I'm with him in this moment. And what will be, will be. Because it doesn't matter how much you worry, it doesn't change the situation. Yeah, so just trust in that. Loving yourself, valuing yourself, continue to be vulnerable, and use it for your growth.
Hi. In the last meeting, I told you how, since I was little, I got the beliefs, the religious beliefs. And it shocked me here. I thought that he was not believing anymore in that. And to see that even if I had that intellectual clarity, it was recorded in the belief in me. I don't know if my body, sometimes you say on a cellular level, no? So I want to ask, how is that we can have those beliefs still within, and even when we have a total intellectual clarity, and how the system is helping to heal that is much deeper, and how can we help that process to continue healing?
You know, this is what I'm talking about. We can have an absolute realization. I remember when my mother told me I was adopted. I was 4 years old. And I remember the physical shock. But it was so intense. And it's the first time I experienced fear. And I just froze. And I had no idea what she was talking about. None. I didn't know what adoption was. She gave me this grand speech about how special I was and how much she wanted me and how long they waited and blah, 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 blah. But I felt panic. And in that moment, I closed myself. Okay? Now, if someone spoke about my adoption, I had the perfect parents, every opportunity, the best education, money, travel, unconditional parents, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't have got better parents. They were so open-minded and so amazing. Spiritual, all of it. And I believed that. But this controlled my life. Controlled it completely. Completely irrational. But that fear of abandonment was so intense. I made myself smaller. I compromised. I did everything that wasn't loving me because I didn't think I deserved it. Rationally, didn't make sense. Emotionally, ruled my life completely. That's why I'm enlightened, because of that adoption. Because I couldn't live with that anymore. So you can go and talk to a psychologist, you can do lots of things, but until you heal that separation, that one thing that creates fear, you will never be completely free. And this is what you're doing here. And it's not always instant, but it diminishes and diminishes and diminishes until you can see, oh, it's a program. And it doesn't have a support system. There's no more support system. The thought might come, but the energy's not there. And you release the energy. And what a great thing. Because intellectually, of course it doesn't make any sense. But it ruled you. It ruled your head. It controlled you. All that guilt and fear. And when I woke up, when you become enlightened, all the information comes at once. I can't explain it, but it just comes, and then you go into everything. You become unified with everything. But one of the things that came, which was the hardest thing for me to believe, or no, not believe, was shocking, was I'd never done anything wrong. It was like, but I tortured myself my whole life, thinking I'd done something wrong, that God was punishing me, or something was punishing me. And I didn't even come from a very religious family. And this is our programs. This is how society creates our human experience, our control, our fears. Everything is creating this duality. And as we expand the consciousness, everything turns. The consciousness starts to dictate our lives. from a grand silence. And this noise becomes more and more distant. But at this moment, this is your God, the head. Do this, do that. This is why you do this. This is why you do that. They're thinking this about you. They saw that. What are they going to think? Oh my God. Oh, I feel something. Oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, I'm going to go and talk to the teachers. Sound familiar? And then you have silence. This system's great. And then, oh, what am I going to do when I get home? Yeah, it's like that, no? We're all retarded. We're all suffering from some level of bipolarism or quadripolars. We're all mad because of this. The judge in the head.
That my son was abused, and I just knew this not long ago. And I want to ask you if you can talk about the guilt. This guilt as a mama I have to move beyond, because in this moment I feel it is endless.
You know, the thing's this. You have to let go. Because you can't resolve the situation. It happened. You didn't know. So stop torturing yourself. Just let go. Feel what you have to feel. But how does guilt serve? What did you do wrong? Nothing. It happened with his cousin. How could you know? His boy cousin. You know, you're not anticipating those things. And you know that you're a good mother. Oh, well, you missed that. What does that signify? Nothing. Nothing about you. About the cousin, yes. But not you. You're not one of those mothers that just ignores the child being abused. And believe me, there's lots of mothers that do. They just don't want to know. That's not your case. So let it go. Why use that to torture yourself? How does that serve you? Do you deserve that? No. He has to resolve it. He has to heal it. You have to be there for him when he wants. But in this moment, torturing yourself doesn't serve. You're becoming a victim to his victim. It doesn't make you a bad mother. It's nothing to do with you. Yes? Good. So let it go. You're forgiven. Let it go.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.